and you should see a dialogue right now regarding the meeting that's being recorded. And if you do have any questions for the presenters, please post it on chat, and the chat will be moderated.
And the number that
So for today's agenda, we have it on the screen. We're going to start with the welcome opening remarks with Dr. Moylan, the director of CEC. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to have some announcements in the beginning, and we'll have some announcements at the end. There will be space to network, and then there will be presentations this afternoon, facilitated by our guest person, Dr. Donna Jensen, as well as presenting agencies from the Renaissance Society, ACC Senior Services, and Aetna Medicare. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ann Moylan, the Director of the Communications Center at Sac State.
Hi, everyone. Well, we welcome you today. This is a very special day for all of us. Not only is this the first Network Cafe for 2021, it's the first anniversary of Network Cafe being led by the Community Engagement Center at Sacramento State. So happy anniversary, Sacramento State's Network Cafe. It's also the 18th anniversary of Network Cafe overall. So Network Cafe, as you may know, was with the Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services for 17 years before coming to Sacramento State. And I know many of you have actually been with Network Cafe from the beginning. And we imagine some of you, this may be your very first Network Cafe. So we welcome all of you. In addition, we're celebrating Sacramento State Community Engagement Center's 25th anniversary. So lots of anniversaries. The 25th anniversary celebrations will continue throughout 2021, and we will be inviting you to participate in some of those in the months to come. As far as my introductory comments, I actually titled them for the first time ever. That doesn't mean they're long, but I just wanted to think about embracing the dialectical. And I know that that can sound like a very academic term, but when we're talking about the dialectical, we're talking about the fact that things can exist in opposition to each other, and most of life is like that. So I'm going to share with you a few things that come to mind when we think about the dialectical. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. And I think some of those words from Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, published in 1859, resonate with us today when we think about all that we're encompassing in our lives right now. I also see that dialectical when we look at human development. And in particular, if you think about Erik Erikson's psychosocial development stages, he starts out with trust versus mistrust and goes into autonomy versus shame and doubt. But later on, his older stages have to do with generativity versus stagnation, ego integrity versus despair. And all of that is just to say that at any stage of our lives, and of course, Erikson was first to say, you don't get this one and done. You revisit these stages over and over. You're not through. Trust versus mistrust can occur at any time in your life. But just to say that with these types of, this perspective, if you will, the dialectical perspective, we embrace the fact that things exist, dualities exist all the time. And most recently, I have to say that I was reminded of this with the words yesterday from Amanda Gorman, age 22, the youngest inaugural poet in the US history. And just a few of Amanda's words: even as we grieved, we grew. Even as we hurt, we hoped. Even as we tired, we tried. And with those words, I welcome you to this first Network Cafe of 2021.
Thank you very much, Anne. As we mentioned before, we're trying to do something a little different for today. We're going to have maybe one or two announcements. If you want it to be said publicly, feel free to put your name in the chat. Or if you'd like to put your announcements on the chat, please do so now. Does anybody want to make any announcements?
I would like to make an announcement.
Please go ahead, Rhonda.
Thank you. I'm from Cash. We are currently going to be doing a brand new employment class, and the qualifications would be for ladies, pardon me, for ladies that have been sex trafficked, things like that. So if you know any ladies that fit that criteria, our class starts on February the 4th, and you can send them over to Cash. We're at 3101 First Avenue, and we can do their intake and hopefully get them employed. We're really focused on it. It's going to be a really good program. I would like to invite anyone that might qualify. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Rhonda. If you could also put that information on chat, that would be great. How about Chris from AARP, if you want to unmute yourself?
Good morning, everyone. This is Chris from AARP. I have some workshops that are coming up. Next week is on decluttering and downsizing workshop. And in the month of February, we have 3 workshops coming up. We have home fit, prepare to care, and once again, decluttering and downsizing. So I'll send that information with all the registration link in the chat room or to you directly also.
Thank you, Chris. Due to interest of time, we have time for one more announcement. Is it Evren Iliamas?
Yes, it's Evren. Thanks, Francine.
Hi, Evren.
Good morning. This is Evren Iliamas. I am the new faculty coordinator for the Center for Small Business at the College of Business. We are working on service learning projects. If you have such projects, please let me know. I will put my contact information in the chat, and we would love to work with you.
Thank you so much, Evren. And again, we'll do another round of announcements at the end of Network Cafe, but if you have any that you would like to put in the chat, please do so right now. We'll go on to our next section of Network Cafe. Change the slide, Anthony. So we would like to give you all some time to network with each other in breakout rooms. It is the first of the year, so we felt it was very important to kind of make community. So in the great breakout rooms, we like to suggest some guiding questions for you all to discuss. So again, as you go into your breakout rooms, go ahead and introduce yourself with your name, title, and organization. And there are 3 following questions we would like you to discuss. The first, what do you project to be your agency or organization's greatest needs in 2021? In what way might networking with other agencies, organizations assist in addressing those needs? As well as who or what inspires you to continue the work you do. We'll break out in these rooms for about 15 minutes, and then you'll be invited back to the main room. So just give me a second to break you all up to the breakout rooms. I just want to welcome everyone back to the main room, and also to thank you so much for your patience as we had anticipated these unforeseen technical challenges. We appreciate your patience and understanding, and I hope you had really great conversations during your breakout room time. Without further ado, I would like to introduce back Dr. Ann Moylan, who will begin the program.
Welcome back, everybody. It is my great pleasure to introduce our facilitator for today. Dr. Donna Jensen is the chair and associate professor in the Department of Gerontology at Sacramento State. And she received her bachelor's degree in social work from California State University, Chico. But then we're proud to say that she followed that up with a master's degree, homegrown at Sacramento State. Her master's degree is in social work from Sac State. She earned her master's degree in human development and her doctorate in human and organizational development from Fielding Graduate University. And she's also a licensed clinical social worker. Some of the things that Dr. Jensen's research focuses on, one would be the benefit of educational mentoring, the benefits of integrated healthcare for older adults, and trauma and resilience among older adults. I want you to know that in 2014, the California chapter of the National Association of Social Workers selected Dr. Jensen as Social Worker of the Year. And that's the same year we were delighted to bring her on board at Sacramento State as one of our professors. There's so much more I could and would love to share with you, but I think at this point, I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Jensen and Donna. We welcome you.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience so far. I think I got the golden group breakout. So welcome to the Network Cafe that's focused on older adults and aging. You know, it's always the right time to talk about the network of services for older adults. Thanks to the Community Engagement Center for hosting this opportunity. As probably everybody on this seminar knows, that COVID-19 has highlighted particular needs for older adults, for their families, and for caregivers. In addition, it's challenged service providers, advocates, and educators on how to adapt to the needs. Specifically, how do we adapt services, outreach, coordination, and even basic contact to those who are isolated and alone. I struggled with using the word vulnerability in describing the needs right now, particularly in regards to older adults. I don't want to fuel the stigma of aging that occurs when we use terms like vulnerable, frail, elderly. That's one of my favorites, not. But the reality is that most older adults are resilient and hardy. The reality also is, like all of us during the pandemic, there are challenges. When a crisis hits, there are those who are disproportionately impacted, and that's why I'm glad you're all here today to connect with each other, to support each other, and hear about some resources available to older adults, their families, caregivers, and to each other as agencies and service providers. As the chair of the Gerontology department, one of my goals is to increase the quality of competence and numbers of graduates who want to enter the workforce in aging services. So I look forward to hearing from the presenters today and the attendees, and to learn how Sac State can better serve your workforce needs for this population. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to facilitate this Network Cafe. We are going to start off. I'm going to introduce our first presenter, who I have been so happy to work with for the 6 years that I've been here, Mr. Ken Cross. So he is currently the board president of the Renaissance Society. And if you've not heard of the Renaissance Society yet, you're in for some excellent information about a wonderful program. So Ken, I'll tell you a little bit about him. Ken graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, New York in 1974 and served as a U.S. Army Airborne Ranger, Armor Officer for 10 years. For the next 10 years, Ken served in the business sector as a self-employed financial planner, working with career military service members. After working in the nonprofit sector for 12 years as the CEO of the local Habitat for Humanity affiliate, Ken retired in November 2015. Ken joined the Renaissance Society in January 2016 and has served as a seminar leader, members of various Renaissance committees, and is starting his 11th semester as a Gerontology department mentor, which on a personal level is such a golden opportunity for our students. So thank you, Ken, for that. Ken Cross is the president of the Renaissance Society of Sacramento for 2021, during a time of major reinvention and transformation to the virtual classroom. So I'll turn it over to you, Ken.
Thank you. It's good to be here today, and hopefully I'm going to get my screen up here so everybody can see it. And there we go. Very good. So it's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you, Donna, for the warm introduction. I'm going to tell you a little bit today about our organization, and we are Sacramento Region's leading home for peer-to-peer participatory lifelong learning. We were founded back in 1986 here on Sac State. Our liaison for the university is the Dean of the College of Social Science and Interdisciplinary Studies, Ian Hyson, actually which is Donna's boss. These lifelong learning organizations, over 400 of them in the United States. What's unique about ours is based on peer-to-peer learning, which basically means we don't hire professors, retired or active professors to teach, but it's our members who take classes and teach classes. And it's one of the things we really pride ourselves on as an organization. So it's all about lifelong learning, socializing, service, and fun. If you look at one of the things I have learned, over the last 10 semesters as a gerontology mentor is that if you want to stay well and age well, you have to stay active in mind and body and spirit. So social interaction is key. And it's actually one of the things our members miss the most right now as we made the conversion from the physical classroom on Sac State campus and the community to the virtual classroom on Zoom this year. So we were actually founded, as I said, in 1986, and this is one of the pictures of one of our co-founders. Looks a little bit like Abe Lincoln here. Robert Howland was a professor in the social work department, and I love this quote: "I don't believe in aging at all. Aging is a losing concept. Our group believes in learning, staying alive, and active in teaching." And he practiced that all the way to the end. Robert passed about at age 90 a couple of years ago. I actually attended his memorial service, and I tell you, it was one of the most enriching services. A real celebration of life, because he lived what he practiced, what he preached, and it was a real supporter of our organization. The other person that really, a couple that really helped with our founding was CSU Emeritus Professor Don Girth and his wife Bev. And they have been emeritus members of our organization since he became emeritus in 2003, and have been great supporters of the Renaissance Society. So one of the things we always talk about is membership is open to all adults. We don't have age limits. Our members range from anywhere from their 50s to their 90s. And one of the things we have right now is we've had a history of having honorary members. When you reach, right now we have 81 honorary members. When you reach age 90, you get a free membership. So that's the brass ring at the end of the rainbow, or the pot at the end of the rainbow. And our oldest member today is a woman by the name of Irene Stone, who turned 100 last year. I think next month is her 101st birthday. And when we registered for classes I was monitoring our honorary members, their enrollment on Zoom. She enrolled for 46 programs and had 2 on the wait list. So, it's about keeping up. If you want to keep up, you can, right? And she exhibits that. So we provide opportunities for everyone to learn together and from one another. Once again, this peer-to-peer model of teaching, and always whether you base it on your own profession we're in when you in your vocational years, an avocation you're interested in, or if it's just something you always want to know more about. I'll give you an example of myself. I teach 2 seminars in the fall. I teach one that's called the Top 10 U.S. Domestic Issues and Potential Solutions. I was so focused on my career, I knew nothing about these areas. I spent hundreds of hours researching them, and I show documentary films and bring in community speakers that are experts in these areas. That's my fall. In the spring, I do one called Transitions. What will I do with the rest of my life? That one I've been working on since midlife when I made a transition, and for the last 25 years. I don't tell people what to do. I ask lots of questions and show them lots of materials so they can find their own path. So, it may be something you have a lot of experience with, or something you can learn and grow yourself right along with your students. So, of course, as I mentioned, most of our seminar leaders are not credentialed teachers, but they enthusiastically share their interests. Now, I say we do have lots of teachers, lots of former professors, people who teach classes, but lots of other people who are doctors and lawyers and retired state workers, and you kind of name it, scientists. The one thing they all share is a real passion for lifelong learning and keeping up and continuing to grow. So a great example of this is a good friend of mine, Mike Agron. I won't read his the statement. You can read it for yourself there, but he's one of our seminar leaders. He's actually starting, I think, his 4th year. Now, Mike spent over 30 years in the technology industry. And one of the things that he was looking around town and he couldn't find anything, so he created his own seminar. And he absolutely has a passion for music. He teaches a class on Frank Sinatra, which is absolutely exciting. Last fall, he had one of his sessions, he had an extra session with a fellow named Tom Dreesen, who was a professional comedian, has been on all the late night talk shows, and actually was the opening act for Frank Sinatra for over 14 years. So, there's lots of room for creativity and creating your own stories. One of the other things we pride ourselves on is our support of the Sac State students and the university. One of the things we've been involved with since 1993 is offering scholarships to students. We offer this spring, we'll offer 7 scholarships, $3,000 each for a total of $21,000. Last spring, we hit a milestone of offering our 100th scholarship and totaling a cumulative over $206,000. In addition, as I was speaking about in our breakout room just prior to coming on, was that one of the big issues, not only at Sac State, but in all the college system, CSU and all the colleges around the nation, is hunger and food insecurity today. So there's been a ASI food pantry since I think the last 6 years, and we've been involved. This will be our 4th year. Each year we keep raising our goal. Last year our goal was $25,000. We raised over $31,000 to support the ASI food pantry. So in addition, we do I've mentored with the Gerontology department for over 25 years, providing mentors and participating in assessment fairs and also speaking classes. So there's lots of other ways. We're involved in the physical therapy department, kind of act as guinea pigs for them, and they give us training on how to take care of themselves. But there's lots of ways to get involved on campus. So you can see last year was a high point in 2019, 2020. We had a record over 2,300 members, and they took over 300 classes during the year. They vary from anywhere from a one-time class to a 6-week or a 12-week seminar, one-time presentation, shared interest groups. And you can see there's over 10 unique subject areas. And for the sake of brevity, I pulled them out, but I have examples of each one of these. But it's a wide variety of topics. Actually, this semester, we're offering 129 programs in our catalog. So there's lots to choose. And if you don't see something you like, you can do what Mike Agron did or what I did. You can create your own class and learn by teaching. So here you can see an interesting diagram showing the many places, days, and times. This was pre-COVID, okay? We were in the, not only on campus on Fridays and Saturdays, but in the communities Monday through Thursday, at the Sacramento Public Library branches, and some of the senior living facilities in Sacramento. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit. And what I remember very vividly, March the 9th of last year, we were sitting in a board meeting. One of our members at large invited one of our other members, Dr. Glenna Trochet, to come and speak to us. And Glenna is a former Sacramento Public Health Officer for 12 years. And she started telling us about COVID. And here we were sitting shoulder to shoulder, cramped in a little room, and our eyes kept getting bigger and bigger. You could have heard a pin drop in the room. And by the time we were done, we knew we needed to shut things down to the month of March. And then after that, of course, the university system stepped in and said, well, we're going to shut it down for summer, spring, and hope to be back on next fall. What we did is right along with the university, we did a major pivot. They have lots of names for this at the university, you know, building a plane as you're taking it off. But anyway, there was a huge transition. And for us, what that meant is we had over 2,300 members that we wanted to come back and join the following year. So we started doing Zoom training. We did a summer speaker series. We had over 1,300 unduplicated members join us for the summer speaking series on Monday and on Friday. And we did virtual seminar leaders workshops and orientation rendezvous for new members. So we really did a huge transition that resulted in us now this year having over 1,700 members. So we retained about 75% of our membership. I have to tell you from a personal note, you know, in the 40 years that I worked in all 3 sectors, in government and business and nonprofit, that I have never seen such an amazing change in how we made this pivot in a matter of just months. And what it really speaks to, and if you know you want a case study in gerontology, it really speaks to those 300 plus members that we had, volunteers who stepped up to help make this transition, using their talents, their skills, their aptitudes and abilities in all many ways. An example would be, we sent an email out and said, hey, we need people to be technical hosts. Yes or no, do you want to participate? Over 90 people responded. And now we have this cadre of technical hosts that stand behind the seminar leaders so they can present their programs without having to worry about all the buttons and helping people go online. So one of the things I think that's really exciting to me is how we stayed active and engaged And I think probably, Donna, this is a case study in itself to be able to present at a Gero conference. So there you go. Just put that pitch in there. So one of the things we're going to invite you to do is check us out. Our website, the easiest way I can tell you to find our website, I could put a big long link up there, but just Google CSUS Renaissance Society and our website will pop up. It's a beautiful website sponsored by the Sac State, by the Information Resource Technology Department. It's cupped up by one of our members, Jennifer Kerr, who is a retired reporter with the Associated Press for over 40 years. So, so I think you'll be impressed with and it's got everything you'd want to know, 95% of the questions you might have about Renaissance. Now, here's a character that's beloved in Renaissance Society, David Warren. David just turned 90 years last year, and he wanted that free membership. Let me tell you what. And his quotable quote is, "I don't want to rust out, I want to wear out." And David is a guy that is just absolutely amazing. He was a priest for a number of years, left the priesthood, became a professor, taught humanities at Sac City College. His wife used to make his characters so that he would be Leonardo da Vinci and Medici and all these characters in full character. So he's just absolutely amazing to watch and to listen to in his classes. So
Mr. Cross, your time has expired. I'm really sorry.
Not a problem. So
12:19 now. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so I think that we're going to try to make up some time and skip the Q&A for you, Ken, but check out his email that's there on the website. It's really a fabulous opportunity, and I love that now that you're virtual. I'm wondering how much more open, that accessible it makes the Renaissance Society to some folks who maybe can't get to one of the locations when it's live. So it's a great opportunity and a great program. So thank you so much. Again, if you have questions, there's Ken's email or the chat. You can pose questions directly to him in the chat. So thank you. Okay, moving on. I'm very happy to be able to introduce our next speaker to you from ACC. Susan Sarinas is a program manager for the Lifelong Learning and Wellness Program at ACC Senior Services. She oversees the classes, the clubs, the workshops, and special events, does marketing and outreach, and is a matter of balance coach, and manages the utilities assistance programs. In my research for this, I was checking out their website, and I see that there's a ukulele lesson up online. I'm going to practice that. So they have a wide amount of services for the whole community. Susan has been with ACC Senior Services for over 11 years and was previously part of the Bridge to Healthy Families Dementia Care Network, a collaboration with the Alzheimer's Association of Northern California and the UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. She's also worked at ACC Greenhaven Terrace Senior Apartment Program, and she's going to tell us about ACC today. So welcome, Susan.
Susan, I believe you're on mute.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you giving us the time to speak to you about ACC. So our mission as a nonprofit is to promote the general welfare and enhance the quality of life for our community by offering specially designed, culturally sensitive services, programs, and classes for older adults. We were founded in 1972, and ACC Senior Services provides housing, education, social services, to help older adults sustain their independence and their lifestyles. This is just a snapshot of what the organization looks like. So we have the Care Center, which is a 99-bed skilled nursing facility. It has a 5-star quality rating from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and it offers the services in multicultural setting as well as a multilingual setting. ACC Greenhaven Terraces are independent and assisted living apartments, and It's for all older adults. And ACC Mapletree is our newest addition. It opened in January of 2020. Not a good time considering the pandemic was coming up. And it features 102 apartments for assisted living and memory care. Meals on Wheels is a sister organization by ACC, helps keep seniors in their homes and communities by providing nutritious meals, safety net services, social contact, and community resource information. So this is the ACC campus building. Originally, our community center first opened in 2002, but we moved into this building. It used to be in Maryhill. I think you can still see the logo on the top for Maryhill. And it's our current campus building, and it opened in 2014. It houses our administration offices, classrooms, and community services. So what community services? We have our ACC Rides Transportation Services. Previously, we provided all types of transportation for seniors, and there was a suggested donation amount of only $5. Currently, we are doing critical service rides, so that's to doctors' offices, dialysis, treatments, grocery stores, and we've even helped with Meals on Wheels deliveries. Because we can't transport many people in our buses, we've had to cut back on services, so you're only 1 or 2 people in a large van or bus, and or just even 1 person at a time. ACC's Bridge to Healthy Families, previously it was the Dementia Care Network, and when the funding for the Dementia Care Network ended, it became our service to provide support services for caregiving families. We have care assessments, we have home safety checks, care consultations, benefit checkups, support groups, and educational workshops. And we have a social worker on staff who provides these services. Under the Bridge to Healthy Families, we also have our Senior Companionship Program. So we have ACC's Friendly Visitors, where we have volunteers who are trained to socialize with homebound seniors. And we also work with the Sacramento County to provide the Senior Companion Service for frail seniors and their caregiving families. During the pandemic, of course, these programs are provided via phone calls, via emails, and online meetings. Our Senior Community Service Employment Program is a federally funded program that manages to assist low-income seniors with job training and finding employment. Our volunteers, of course, are the backbone of ACC. They serve on our board and on our committees. They work our fundraisers, teach classes, lead activities, as well as clubs. And during the pandemic, some volunteers are also doing friendly phone calls to our participants. Let's see. So the Lifelong Learning and Wellness Program is the program that I manage. So prior to March and January and February, we held over 400 different class sessions. We had workshops, club meetings, and we had over 500 active participants. Last year, we had probably about 1,300 active participants. We offered classes in arts and culture, cooking demonstrations, languages, computer technology, dance, music, health and fitness, and wellness workshops. We did things like Ikebana classes, Japanese doll making, line dancing, Mandarin classes, Spanish classes, Japanese classes. We had music classes, guitar and ukulele. We had singing, swimming, aqua aerobics, and Zumba, just to name a few. We had over 6 or 7 Tai Chi classes, 6 or 7 yoga classes, so there was a lot to choose from. In October 2020, we started to offer a few classes online. We had surveyed our participants, and actually less than half seemed to be interested in online classes. So, but when we kicked off the classes, we ended up having 328 people register for our classes. Let's see, there we go. So currently, this year we started with more classes. So we have classes every single day. Generally, we're shooting for 2 classes a day, and we offer 2 different types of yoga, one more basic, one more advanced. We have 2 different types of dance fitness classes. We offer a Tai Chi class for those who have limited mobility. We do cooking demonstrations. We have 2 scheduled, one Korean and one Japanese. We have 4 concerts scheduled. We offer a beginning ukulele class. We have meditation class, as well as different workshops and special events. One of our workshops that goes all 3 months, we scheduling for the quarter. So January, February, and March, we have a Your Life History, where you go through and are guided to writing the story of your life. You can access any of our classes by going to accsv.org/online, and all of these classes are currently free to any participant. So the other program that falls under the Lifelong Learning and Wellness Program is our Utility Assistance Program. So I am working this program in addition to the classes. So the first program is Team Telecommunications Education and Assistance in Multiple Languages. And the second is Community Help and Awareness of Natural Gas and Electricity Services Changes, of course. Sponsored and funded by the California Public Utilities, it provides free education and assistance with problems that consumers have, especially those who are non-English speaking, who are Native Americans, who are seniors, and disabled veterans, anyone who may not be able to advocate for themselves. We do free bill reviews, we help with billing problems, and we can contact the utility company for them. We try to find affordable services, enroll them in payment assistance plans, change account information, request bills in other languages if they need it, complete applications for discounts, help find billing errors, or look at to see if there's been fraud or unnecessary charges or excessive charges. We report unsafe conditions, reconnect, reinstate services, and we can try and get people connected to agencies that provide funding so that they can help pay their bills. Okay. So in this instance, we have 2 words that some of our clients have said. I would like to express my much appreciation for Susan Sarinas' efforts in the reduction of my monthly phone bill. The cost savings for me was the direct result of Susan communicating in conjunction with the phone company. Thank you, Susan, and ACC's program for this community service for seniors. I want to thank you for helping me to set up Xfinity Internet in September. You spend a lot of time with me on the phone with them and on my account. I appreciate very much. My account with them is all right now. I'm getting internet with no problems. So especially during this time with the pandemic, it's been very important that we get people connected. So I've helped them get either low cost, if they qualify by income, low cost internet, or help them sign up for an internet program where we can get some type of discount. And I've also helped people get computers. I've worked with a group, Computers for Classes, up in Chico, and they have refurbished computers. So we help these seniors purchase computers that they can use so that will enhance their life. Okay, oops. So if you know of anyone who needs help with phone, internet, TV, gas, electric bills that are too high, charges they do not recognize, services they did not want, or loss of some of the programs at the California Lifeline or the Care Discount, ACC can check their bills, help fill out applications, talk to the utility company, answer questions and concerns. There's my contact information. I'm at the campus building on Park City Drive in the Greenhaven Pocket area. Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a few minutes for some questions. If anybody has questions for Susan. So if you have questions, you could either raise your hand, the feature on Zoom, or post it in the chat. And I guess I'll open it up if there's any questions for Ken as well as at this time, since we buzzed through that Q&A session. Okay.
So Donna, one thing I was going to share, I put it in the chat, was I was asked by one or more people, what's our annual membership, or how much does it cost for Renaissance Society? It's $100 a year or $60 mid-year for as many programs or classes and seminars and one-time presentations you want to take. So this is the best deal in town. That's it's one of the most reasonable of all the lifelong learning organizations I've looked at.
Fantastic. Thanks for that update. Well, I'm not seeing any questions, but thank you so much, Susan, for just giving us the range of services and programs that ACC has. Such a vital services any time in under any circumstances, much less right now during COVID-19. And thank you so much. There have been a couple of questions about the presenter info, if it'll be sent to us in an email. Anne, did you want to respond to that real quick? I see that you did respond in the chat, but.
Sure. You know, I thought that the presenters might take a moment to put their contact information in the chat box if they could. I know, for example, Susan had hers at the end of her slide, but maybe it went by too fast. Oh, thank you, Susan, right on cue. And then if anybody has other things that they need from us, please feel free to reach out. We can put you in touch with other people who were presenters and other people who are attendees today. If there's somebody that you're trying to reach out to, we'll be happy to facilitate that.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to our next presenter. I had the fortune of spending some time with her in our breakout room this morning. I want to introduce Kristin Murray. She's a community outreach specialist with Aetna Medicare, which is a CVS health company. She lives just outside of Sacramento. She has her Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration from UC Riverside and has a true passion for inspiring the older adult community to be empowered by the health and wellness resources that are available to them. She's been serving in senior communities and developing mutually beneficial partnerships for over 13 years throughout Southern and Northern California in various Medicare-focused roles. She also runs her own health and wellness business, guiding people through clean eating challenges, and recently lived in a travel trailer for 17 months, 7 of those during the pandemic, with her family of 4, while building their own home from the ground up in Placer County. I bet you have some stories you can share about that. She loves taking on challenges, clearly, and grows from them. So here we go. Kristin, take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that great intro. I'm going to share my screen here where I jump in. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Let me know if you can't hear me okay. I'm so honored to be here. I'm fairly new to Aetna, but not to serving the seniors in our community. I relocated to the Sacramento area 4 years ago from Southern California, specifically Riverside. I worked most of my career with health and wellness, almost 13 years with Silver Sneakers and Tivity Health. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Silver Sneakers, but it's a fitness organization that is partnered with many Medicare health plans throughout the country. So I had the honor of working and serving Medicare lives for most of my career. And I was actually working for a competitor to Silver Sneakers called PureFit, most recently in March prior to the pandemic, and 40% of the company was laid off as a result. As soon as gyms closed and we could no longer be in front of seniors in a gym setting, my community outreach with that role obviously came to a halt before people were able to pivot. And because PureFit was a fairly new company, they made a quick decision to lay me off. So I found myself unemployed for the pandemic through September when I got hired with Aetna. And I just am absolutely so grateful to be, to have landed here in a community-focused role. Obviously, we had to get creative with how we got in front of seniors. So I'm four months strong here with Aetna, but like I said, not new to serving Medicare and being part of Medicare partnerships. I love that I get to do a wider role with Aetna and not just focus on the fitness aspect. And since all of us have been sitting for so long, I kind of wanted to do what I'm known for and just kind of have everybody shake it out a little bit. You've been sitting and stagnant here in front of the video camera, so just give me a little bit of shake. And then I want to show you that even when we're sedentary, we're stuck at home, maybe seated a lot, driving, what have you, there's ways to move your body and get that blood flowing through your veins and to your heart and out of your heart, so that it can be kind of revitalizing to us, mind, body, and spirit. So if you would just bear with me for a second, one of my favorite things I was known for, one of the best things I was known for with Silver Sneakers was telling everybody that whether you can stand up and run a marathon or not, give me 10 seconds of running in place as hard as you can right now since we've been sitting, and tell me you don't feel re-energized. So just where you are, seated, start running in place as fast as you can. Move those legs as high or as small as you want. Move the arms to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tell me that your heart's not beating a little bit faster. So that's a nice way just to get that blood flowing and remind you and to be grateful for our healthy body in whatever form we have it. So whether you're bound to a chair, like some of my seniors were with Silver Sneakers, many of them thought I wasn't talking to them when I said that they had a fitness benefit available to them. Anybody and everybody can move their body and get some form of movement. One of the questions that was asked in the breakout is what inspires me every day in my role. Not just in my professional role, but in my personal business as well. My best friend was my grandfather, and I've lost him, unfortunately, about 11 years ago. And one of the things that inspired me is Silver Sneakers taught me that the CDC guidelines for movement for seniors, if they do 150 minutes a week, which is 20 minutes a day, it has the possibility of increasing their lifespan by 3 years. So I want you to think for a second about somebody who was taken from you, near and dear to you, and if they had lived an extra 3 years, what that could have meant for their quality of life and or your quality of life. I know that when I thought about that for my grandfather, I thought he would have seen me get married and he would have been able to hold my firstborn son if he had lived just 3 years longer. So when we're all doing our work in the community and serving seniors in any capacity, whether it be fitness, whether it be service, resources, food, meeting their needs in any way, just think about the way and the quality of life and the quantity of life that we can add to it. And even in the middle of having to pivot and become creative with what we're doing and how we're reaching people, just be reminded of the kind of impact you're having on people's lives by connecting them with these resources. So I hope that brought a little bit of value, and that's what Aetna likes to do, is not just, not, like I said, I like to create mutually beneficial relationships in the community, and not just look for a way to get the Aetna brand out there, but also bring value to your organizations, whether it serves Aetna or not. And obviously that would create awareness to us as a company. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Aetna as a company, we are 168 years young. We are one of the longest running insurance companies. And we actually paid the very first Medicare claim in 1966. So we survived 3 major wars, Civil World War I and World War II. And when a lot of companies were folding during those major events in our history, Aetna was growing and always became very innovative as to how they might be able to meet the needs of the community at the time, even in times of downturn. So I love that, and that's one of the reasons I said I'm so honored to have landed with Aetna. I am part of their sales team, but fortunately I don't have to sell anything. My whole role is focused on connecting Medicare specialists who are trained in helping seniors find resources available to them, whether through health plans or not. They're partnered and licensed to write Medicare plans for multiple health plans, not just Aetna. And my whole role is to identify the best of the best as far as Medicare specialists who are ready to sell for Aetna, and plug them into community organizations so that you have a trusted resource, somebody who, the reason I share my background with you and my passion is I want you to know and rest assured that the person that I'm going to plug in to serve your members, be it referrals or presentations on a regular basis, they're going to be the best of the best. And most of our agents, we have 171 ready to sell agents in Sacramento County alone. And like I said, many of those are licensed to write multiple health plans. So their role in when I plug them into the community is not just to write an Aetna plan, but to truly take that senior and identify their needs from A to Z and plug them into the right resources that are available for them. If they're in the market for a Medicare health plan, they need to switch, they need access to a different hospital or doctor because theirs is no longer with their health plan. All of those things they can help with. So I wanted to give you an idea of some of the ways we got creative during the pandemic. Here on the left is myself with our broker manager, Lori. We cover 5 counties in kind of the eastern part of Northern California. We also have one of me, a community outreach specialist in closer to the San Francisco area. She lives in Marin, and 2 broker managers like Lori here that also serve kind of the Western Northern California area. So a lot of feet on the street, in addition to the over 400 ready to sell agents that serve Northern California. Lori and I did a give back to the community where we gathered just from our brokers in the area. We took off our masks just for the quick picture, but we did a food drive in Placer County and Sacramento County, and where we knew that some of our food banks that we had been working with were in dire need for food. So we asked the brokers, in celebration of being the #1 sales team for all of Aetna throughout the nation. Northern California won that honor. We wanted to give back, and we wanted to thank the brokers by treating them to lunch or breakfast at a local restaurant to help boost the economy there, and also to have them bring some non-perishable food items so that we could donate to a local food shelter, food pantry. So I was in heaven because we did so much of our work behind the scenes. We didn't get to see the brokers in person much. We did a lot of virtual online events, webinars, and Zooms. So to get out into the community, masked or not, and be able to wave from 6 feet and see our brokers who did such a great job of taking care of our seniors and getting us to that #1 spot throughout all of the country. It was great to give back and say thank you at the same time. We did an ice cream drive-through event. We wanted to really share the love, so we handmade those signs, and partnered with a senior center locally to provide ice cream treats, bagged, ready to hand out through the door. And then obviously we were able to give out bags and resources, COVID-friendly kits such as hand sanitizers and Aetna masks. And I have these coming out of my ears, you guys. So if you have a need for COVID kits, which would include a recyclable grocery bag, a Aetna branded mask, and hand sanitizer, please let me know. I would be happy to deliver these to your organizations as part of what I do in the community. And then I want to focus most of my presentation on the fact that benefits checkup, which I believe Susan mentioned, ACC does as well. So benefits checkup and the National Council on Aging is partnered with multiple organizations. We have a 7-year partnership with the National Council on Aging to provide the benefits checkup to seniors, and they can actually do it themselves, but it's great to have somebody walk them through the process, whether virtually or in person in a COVID-friendly setting, to get help with paying for prescriptions, energy bills, property taxes, and more. So I'm going to focus most of my presentation on this because this is a great general way for us to get in front of anybody who has needs, and our Medicare specialists are happy to serve them. I was telling in my breakout that most of our Medicare specialists are people who have retired, and they got into this space because they turned 65 themselves and they realized that Medicare was so overwhelming. So they got educated and trained as kind of a later in life career to help seniors just like themselves, friends, family, navigate the rough waters of Medicare. So we've been working with the National Council on Aging to offer this free access to the benefits checkup. It was founded in 1950. And for those of you who aren't familiar with NCOA, it's a trusted nonprofit organization working to improve the lives of others. It serves as a national voice for older Americans and the community organizations that serve them. And they've developed longstanding community programs such as Meals on Wheels. And we also have a national partnership with Meals on Wheels. So the benefits checkup, if you're not familiar with it, is a free service. It's an online screening tool. It can help find benefits that prospects and members may be eligible for from over 2,500 federal, state, and private programs. It's a completely private and confidential online tool. And for people who aren't super comfortable using this online tool, that's where the Medicare specialists come into play. So how can the benefits checkup help? Here are some examples of expenses that can be helped with going through the benefits checkup. Medications, food, utilities, legal assistance, healthcare, housing, property taxes, transportation, and employment training. Excuse me for a second while I move my little chat box here. So there's an express screening, 15 to 20 minutes long, quick way to find out common benefit programs. And for those of you thinking this is just for low income individuals, not the case at all. We have people who can be helped with an income of around 40,000 or less. So a lot of times they don't qualify for all of the low income things, but this benefits checkup can still save them money and drastically increase their quality of life, freeing up some money each month. There's a comprehensive 20 to 30 minute screening for all 2,500 benefit programs. That one's highly recommended. And then there's a Medicare prescription extra help, 10 to 15 minutes, which may increase monthly income up to $135. So this is just one of the examples. John is a single man. He's a retired veteran with an income of $13,500. He rents an apartment and takes several medications. He might find help from Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps, tax credit for the elderly and disabled, utility help program, home care services, prescription help, transportation service assistance. Again, just to name a few. And I have a few other examples, but I think I'm running a little low on time here. So I'll just read one more, and then I want to reiterate how we can partner together. So the last example I'll share here is Elizabeth. She's a married woman. Together with her husband, they have a combined income of $40,000 a year. They own their home. She takes only a few medications, but she's unable to work. She might find help from property tax relief program as a result of a Medicare specialist going through the benefits checkup. They may be eligible for home care assistance and utility help programs. So many people are often surprised that they can get extra help here. So be sure to give benefits checkup a try, or get the word out about the benefits checkup and the availability of great Medicare specialists that I can provide you with and your clients to answer their questions, really hold their hand through the process. So they might go through the benefits checkup online themselves, but then really not know how to take those next steps. And that's where our Medicare specialists would come in handy. And I'm going to skip that third example and share with you that you get a personalized report. Once you complete a screening, your report is ready to print out, shows you the benefit programs where you can get help, tells you how to apply, and gives you a list of materials you'll need to apply. Gives you direct links to online applications when available. And then last but not least, Aetna Medicare has put together an incredible Medicare ebook that I would like to share with anybody who would be interested. So if you reach out to me after this meeting via email, mariek1@aetna.com, and let me know if you're interested in receiving the Medicare ebook that we've put together. It has some healthy recipes. It has a crossword puzzle, has a plethora of information, how to connect to a Zoom. It's a really handy online resource for helping people navigate some of the most common things they need to get them through the pandemic and to really thrive. A guide to total health, which is what we're focused on here at Aetna. And my cell phone number is here for you as well, 916-298-9622. I would love more than anything to connect with each and every one of you. If there's an opportunity for me to do an event with you virtually, or to get materials and resources in the hands of the people that you see every day or every month, and make sure that they have all of the resources available to them that can really improve the quality of their life.
All right. Thank you, Kristin. Lots of good information. And just if you're not monitoring the chat, it looks like Rafaela is interested in some of the kits that you had to offer. Yeah. So would you recommend, if people are interested in the COVID kits, that they contact you through email?
That would be wonderful, you guys. The COVID kits, or partnering up for an event, or to plug a Medicare specialist in.
Fantastic. Oh, questions for Kristin. I also wanted to highlight, while maybe you're thinking of your questions, I believe Tasha from my sister's house was curious to, one of the early announcements that we had was the employment classes for victims of sexual trafficking. I want to say maybe Rhonda, that's you, but I could be making that up. So if you could let Tasha know who that is, I'm sure she would appreciate it. Questions. All right, well, I'm going to throw it back to CEC. And just real quick, I think, Rhonda, were you the one that mentioned the employment classes for survivors of trafficking? Tasha earlier up from my sister's house was interested in the information. All right, back to CEC.
Thank you so much, Donna. So now we're going to open the floor to announcements. So if anyone would like to make an announcement, please put your name in the chat and we will call on you to unmute yourself. So we have Wanda Gonzalez. You could unmute yourself.
Thank you for that. Thank you guys for the opportunity to share information. Here in Sacramento, we had a card center over on Folsom Boulevard, where folks would go into that standalone building to do anything related to a Social Security card. Well, the card center remissioned, and last Friday was the final day. I did share that information in the community and with Congress and any other stakeholders that I could share that information with, but I wanted to take an opportunity to tell you all that the card center is no longer in operation. What we've done now is we've deployed the employees to the other field offices for Social Security in Sacramento so that we can continue expanding services for anyone needing the Social Security cards, replacements within those field offices, and making it more convenient for anyone to get the information from their local field offices rather than just one standalone building. As I mentioned earlier in a chat, we are still open, but through online and telephone only. So please continue calling our offices. Our technicians are available from 9 to 4, and they're answering your questions. And we can also do replacement Social Security cards online. So please take advantage of those services first. And if needed, the technician will schedule an in-person appointment. But right now, during the pandemic, we're just being very careful about in-person services. Thank you. That is all I have to share right now.
Thank you, Wanda. So up next is Leslie from SMUD.
Hi, everybody. I have to hop off pretty quick because I have another meeting at 1. I just wanted to say thank you for the presentations. Also, my information is in the chat. We have some new information on our Here to Help campaign, which is reaching out for our low income programs. We have changed our power shutoff date through the end of April now. So I have some new links that you guys can send out, and a new flyer. If anybody needs those, please let me know. Or if you'd like to set up any type of virtual presentations, I'm happy to do that. I'd love to meet with your organization also to see what you guys are doing and how SMUD can help get the word out as well. So thank you all so much. I have to run, but have a wonderful day, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. So it
You're
seems
welcome.
like we have time for maybe one more announcement. Yes, so thank you, Jasmine. So Ronald Robinson from the Wellness Coach team.
Yes, hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can I be seen okay? All right. Well, it's great to be seen on this wonderful Thursday. Well, let me kind of briefly share with you guys the Wellness Coach team. I'm the Director of Operations on the Wellness Coach team. I also have the very fortunate opportunity to collaborate with multiple organizations with the idea of building this concept. Well, the Wellness Coach team is a group of superheroes. Okay, kind of like the Avengers, but I'll put it in the content to where we can all understand is that we're all wellness professionals, from dietitians, physical trainers, wellness practitioners in every facet that you could think of. They're doctors, and we come together providing wellness practices for people who are obviously not connected, not feeling engaged into what's happening in our world today, because obviously COVID has limited that for us. So what we've done is we put together a very particular program to support our nonprofit partners. It is called Wellness Weekends. Wellness Weekends, the idea is to, again, support our nonprofit partners in this way of funding. We realize that funding restrictions are obviously quite difficult these days. We can't have 5K runs, we can't have the galas, we can't have all the things necessary to normally bring us all together for particular events and functions. So what we decided to do is to hold a virtual wellness campaign over the weekends, to where we encourage all of your participants, all of your sponsors, all of your donors, when they make their contributions to you, it gives them access to Wellness Weekend, to where they have obviously wellness practitioners from all over the country, but then also internationally, providing them with workshops in areas of physical activity, nutrition, mindfulness, so on and so forth. So I'm going to put my information in here for you guys to take a look at our LinkedIn page to give you an idea as far as what is coming up next. We're working with Three Strands Foundation for March Wellness Weekend. So far, we have quite a few attendees planning to come, just over 2,000 people. So Really looking forward to connecting and partnering with you all and seeing how we can support you.
Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you.
So to close out our event today, I will bring it back to our director, Ann Moylan.
I realize we're just a minute after 1. Those of you who have hung in there until the bitter end, I appreciate it. I really just want to thank so much Team CEC for pulling this together. It really is a joint effort to make this possible every single month. I want to particularly thank Donna Jensen, who was our fantastic facilitator today. Thank our presenters, Ken Cross and Susan Sarinas and Kristin Murray. Fantastic information, fantastic presentations. I have to thank SMUD. You know, SMUD's one of our sponsors, and even though Leslie Adorno de Chasing had to sign off a little bit early, they continued their support even after the Network Cafe left Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services and came to our campus. And thank you, Chris Miller, who is our Vice President for Strategic Services and has made it possible for us to carry on with this month after month. Thank you everybody who attended. One of the comments that came up in our breakout group was that this sometimes is the inspiration. Network Cafe is the inspiration. So much appreciate you. And please be sure to save the date, February the 18th, 2021. We hope to see you back here. Feel free to unmute if you want to say goodbye.